Welcome to Crafty Hints. I'm Chantel. This week I've joined Sonia at Domestic Diva for her fall challenge. She challenged us to use Dollar Tree items to make a fall decor DIY. I've made 2 for you. Now there's going to be a bunch of talented people that are adding to this playlist, so take a look below. Also, take a look at Sonia's channels. I believe she has 3 of them, and they have some great information. So let's get to my projects. My first project is making this buffalo check pumpkin. I took one of these pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. It had a daisy on top and leaves and berries and wire, and so I took all of that off. And then what I want to do is just score it along the lines, because I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to tuck it in there. When I was a kid, we used to make Christmas ornaments like this. They used to look like they were quilted with all different types of fabric. So that was fun. So I got the idea, since these are styrofoam. Now I first started out with this smaller ribbon. It seemed to work at first, but I don't think that they're all exactly the same size. So I will get about 3 of them on here and totally decide to go with the bigger ribbon. So when I do use this bigger ribbon, I decided that I kind of like that black edge where the wire is. So when I line up the second side, I'm going to make it so that that black part does stick out. Now again, you can make it however you want. The next one I'd probably tuck it all the way in so that you don't see any of that black wire. And when you do put your second piece of ribbon down, you're going to want to line it up so that the ribbon sits on top of each other and it looks like it just flows right there with a seam. So here I am with the second piece, and I'm going to leave that black part sticking out just a little bit, but you can see I lined up black on black there, and so on. So just continue around this with your new piece of ribbon right on top of your old one, and just connecting them in the seams, tucking that in nicely. As you can see, I used really fancy tools. I used a butter knife to tuck these in. And then after I get that last row, I'm just going to go back and just keep tucking. Make everything on each end nice and snug so that on the ends it does look nice and neat and has a nice finished edge to it. So to top this off, I'm going to use a stick that I found outside, and I also have some of the lighter colored nautical rope that I'll just untwist. So that will give it the tendrils of like a real pumpkin. So I just twist I just clipped off that little bit and twist the knife in there to get some of that styrofoam out, because we need to make a little bit of room for the stick to go in. Now you could use an X-Acto knife. I couldn't find mine at the time, so I used a paring knife. It worked just fine. So just continue to use a butter knife, tuck that fabric in there, and the styrofoam just holds that fabric nice and tight, as you can see. So then I'll just glue the little bits of rope on. I glue these two together, and then I tuck them in together right into the styrofoam. It really doesn't take much glue for this. Then I'll flip the pumpkin over and make sure that the bottom is nice and tidy as well. Nice, easy, simple DIY. Even your kids could join you to do a few. Okay, next I'm going to use this little bit of a bigger pumpkin from the Dollar Tree. Clip off those tags or it will rip a big old hole. But I'm going to cut right around that circle on the top so that I can get to the inside of this pumpkin. Now here I am using, my box cutter, and I start out shallow and I just keep going deeper until I get all the way in there and have the top of this pumpkin off. Next, I'm going to take my copper Rust-Oleum and I just spray painted it. It only took one coat to cover this and it worked like a charm. So after I take that, I let it dry for just a little bit. Now I'll take the stem out and I'm going to stick the styrofoam down in there. Now we're going to add flowers to this. If you really want to make sure that they stay in there and do not move at all, I would put some floral foam. This is what we're making. So I didn't do that. I did glue my lamb's ear on around the outside and it made the flowers pretty much stay in place. But again, you could add floral foam if you want to make sure and you're going to use this year after year. So I just took some of the lamb's ear. This one I did pick up the lamb's ear from Walmart. That's the only thing in any of these DIYs that was not from the Dollar Tree. I could not find the lamb's ear there. I'm sorry. And you'll see that I keep going. I get my flowers in there. I do most of the time like to group them in 3s or 5s. It does give it that nice flow for your eye to catch. Your eye kind of tracks that in a circle there. I do get a little bit carried away though as I go and I just keep adding. So you will see that I do take some of these items back out. But just keep making it. I thought I wanted to build it up and make a much bigger bouquet than I decided to do. But for my side table, I decided I didn't want it quite so high and big. I really wanted it more simple. I think you can see here, I feel like the white is just too much. I'm clipping off some and trying to readjust and trying to figure out how to make this my own. I do take out all of the extras and only end up with, I think these are Gerber daisies. So that is what I will end up with and show you here. But I try some other daisies in there and I keep messing with it until I'm happy. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you will subscribe and hit that bell so that you do know when I release new videos. And I would love to hear what you're working on for fall. Have you started decorating? Have you started some DIYs? Let me know. Okay, this is just about complete. Did you like this big full bouquet, or would you have left it simple like I turned back to? And here it is, sweet and simple. I do think it turned out really pretty with that copper. The copper, I think, will pay off in the long run for itself. You can use it so many times. Thanks again for watching. I hope you'll leave me a comment and a like below.